a journey. There are ups and downs, victories and defeats. It can also take you to strange places.
In my case, I ended up in a small coastal town in Thailand and opened my own English language school.
As teachers, we like to believe that all the magic happens in the English classroom. But the longer I've been teaching, the more I think about it, it's not the inside of the classroom, but the outside of the classroom. What's happening in our own students' personal language learning journeys? Maybe the magic actually happens in between the classes. Let's find out why. In my videos, I'm going to be talking about the concept of students using the internet as a virtual textbook. By the end of the series, as teachers of English, you'll be able to better prepare your students to practice English outside of the classroom. In my teaching context, I only see my students on average 2 hours a week. And now that's not really enough to learn a language. So my role in the classroom began to shift from teacher to more of a student counsellor or coach. The book, From English Teacher to Learner Coach, further reinforced in my mind the importance of outside practice. Barber and Ford noted that if we focus exclusively on lessons, we will miss the opportunity to leverage the potential every student has to practice more and make quicker progress. Well, in a recent interview by the TEFLology podcast with Ollie Richards, they also talked about the importance of supporting student practice outside of the classroom. Let's have a listen.
If I'm teaching in a classroom, I'd see my main job as almost counselling students on what they've done in the previous week at home, and then setting them up for the week to come. So like, what are you going to be doing the rest of the time? We're here for 1 hour. We can't do much in that hour, but what are you going to do for the other 7 days when you're at home?
Okay.
So like that's the big prize that there for students. Is like, what can you do at home in your own time?
So if you agree that outside class time is the big prize for English students, then the next question is, how do we help students win that prize? One word: technology. Now, I know some teachers see technology as the great evil, while others see it as the solution to all our problems. Well, me, it's just another tool. And if we use it in a principled way to help our students reach their English language goals, then that's all that matters, isn't it? Now, in 2012, Scott Thornbury wrote an interesting blog post about technology. It was titled E is for E-Coursebook. In the conclusion, he proposed that students don't need e-textbooks or paper textbooks. He thought students could use the internet as a virtual textbook. He then outlined the different tools that can be used to achieve this, from videos with transcripts to collocation tools. Now, 7 years ago, I thought this was a pretty good idea. And now in 2019, I think it's an even better one. A lot of the tools he talked about in that original post have now either come into existence or been improved on. I think now is the time to revisit this concept and look at it through the lens of how to coach students to practice outside of the classroom. Or how can students use the internet as a virtual textbook to practice English at home? With technology, it's important that you base the selection of your tools on sound teaching principles. Vicky Sawmill, in her article from the Modern English Teacher, gives some great tips on how to integrate technology into the classroom. So if you have a chance, go over and read it. So I settled on using Paul Nation's 4 strands. It's a framework that I've used to design one-to-one courses and found to be very effective. Let me show you how it works with some blocks. Nation believes teachers and students should divide their time equally between the 4 strands, or in this case blocks, when they study English. The first block
represents 25% of your time spent on meaning-focused input. This includes all your listening and reading. The second block is 25% on meaning-focused output, and this is all about speaking and writing. Well, the third block is 25% on language-focused learning. This includes all your stuff like pronunciation work, vocabulary, learning strategies, and grammar. While the final block is 25% on fluency development, pretty much making the best of what students already know, such as speed reading or repeating a speaking task to improve your fluency. In the classroom though, the focus tends to be too much on the language-focused stream at the expense of the other streams. Keeping this in mind, in designing a virtual textbook, I want to make sure students are getting a balance between the 4 streams and not doing too much language work.
Over 2020 at Pavilion ETP, I'm going to be exploring the concept of the internet as a virtual coursebook for our students. We'll look at study habits, listening, reading, speaking, writing, and fluency development. For each of these streams or blocks, I'll match up some online tools which students can use to practice at home. Oh, and remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, leave a comment about what tools you suggest to your students to use outside of the classroom now. So I hope you can join us on this language journey. Who knows where we'll end up?